If you're a boxing fan and never want to miss a fight, Boxing Showtimes is the app you need. This is a professional boxing schedule in your pocket that keeps you up to date on what's going on in the world of boxing. Download now.
Alright people, Eddie Hearn recently gave an interview with Boxing Social where he's been talking about Anthony Joshua and his training team moving forward. Now, roughly a month ago, Anthony Joshua was doing a bit of training in the UK with Ben Davison. Ben Davison obviously is a well-known trainer in the UK. He's worked with the likes of Devin Haney as well. You know, if you want to go and venture out abroad, he's worked with the likes of Devin Haney. Most famously with Tyson Fury for that roughly a little over a year kind of period when Fury came back against Seferi up until he fought Otto Wallin. He was obviously in Tyson Fury's corner for the Deontay Wilder fight, the very first fight. So Ben Davison be well known. Now, Eddie Hearn, put it like this, when Joshua was training with him, he was saying it was just kind of to tick over. And then he said in an interview with Martin Brundle, with the BBC, that was in Texas obviously, that, you know, he'd changed trainer. And what he meant by that was he had stopped training with Ben Davison, as in ticking over, and was back in camp with Derek James. We've seen the pictures of the two of them together. Eddie Hearn has revealed that he's actually been training with Ben Davison behind the scenes for his past few fights. He said that AJ's been working with Davison tactically when in the UK, though Derek James remains the head trainer. It reminds me something similar of what Joshua had going with Rob McCracken and, to an extent, Robert Garcia, where basically he had Angel Fernandez. Now, I'm pretty sure Angel Fernandez, I don't know, is even still part of Team Joshua, where he was a bit different because AJ was basing himself primarily in Sheffield, I think it was, where McCracken would do his thing, Fernandez would do his thing. McCracken was the head guy, but Fernandez had a lot of influence, and you really seen that in the Povetkin fight. You know, that was one of the ones where you could really see the influence of AJ Fernandez as opposed to Rob McCracken. So it's not really anything new for AJ. He's obviously decided that he wants to venture out altogether, so he doesn't want to be in Sheffield. You know, obviously he'd be around the GB squad and stuff like that. So Ben Davison is either in or around London. And AJ is obviously from Watford, which is near London. It's in a different county, but it's not too far from London. So when he's in the UK, he's training with him. Now, it's interesting, Ben Davison of all people. And I tell you why, because Anthony Joshua, this isn't the first time he's done something like this. Do you remember when he was fighting? It was the Usyk first fight or the rematch. It was one or the other. I'm pretty sure he enlisted the help anyway of James Ali Bashir. I'm pretty sure it was Joshua who enlisted his help for one of those fights. Just to kind of, you know, obviously not as head trainer, but to get a bit of an insight into your opponent. And I'm wondering, is Joshua still looking at Tyson Fury as an opponent and thinking, okay, if I can even get a little bit of training in, get a good rapport with Ben Davison, he, although briefly, only really a year, still trained Tyson Fury. How much would Ben Davison have learned? Because Joshua was talking about watching at home with the Furies, hoping to spot some weaknesses. I wonder, is he using maybe Ben Davison, not just to tick over, Ben Davison's a good coach as well, is he using him to kind of like maybe get Ben Davison to say, in my opinion, Fury is weak at this, he's weak at this, stuff like that. Maybe that's what Joshua is looking to do. You know, Ben Davison, as I've said before, I rate him highly as a trainer. I think he's a good trainer. I do think that Derek James and Anthony Joshua work quite well as a team. What I have to say about Joshua, you know, mentally, I think Joshua is just all over the place in there. You know, in the ring, he just seems so unsure of himself. But physically, from a physical point of view and how his boxing game is looking, it's actually looking really, really good. You know, with Derek James, you're seeing a lot of improvement there, and obviously now that we know now he's working with Ben Davison. Ben Davison was unfairly treated, I feel, because, yeah, look, I get it. Tyson Fury, he was already established. You're going to take him and claim you're a good trainer. He's already been established. Peter Fury did all the groundwork, right? I get that. Look at Lee Wood, arguably the best fighter pound for pound in the UK. Guy was getting beat by Jazzy Dickens at British level 4 years ago under Dave Caldwell, right? Now he's arguably the best fighter pound for pound in the UK. Arguably, I'm not saying he is. That's under the tutelage of Ben Davison. He is a good coach. He is a good trainer. So to have him, now you could also make the counter argument that, gee, too many cooks spoil the broth, and that maybe Joshua would listen to something Ben Davison would do, or what Ben Davison would say. He'd go with Derek James and he'd be like, well, Ben Davison said it this way, James said it this way, who do I go with? Because Joshua could be indecisive like that. And yeah, that's the possibility there, but I think with Derek James he does. I think Derek James is the main voice, and I think Joshua knows that he needs that main voice there. And, you know, he talked about, before the Jermaine Franklin fight, I think it was before he even announced Derek James as a trainer, that, he'd try out various different trainers over the course of the next year. He hasn't done that, thankfully. He's stuck with Derek James. I suspect that he has a good rapport with him and he really feels comfy in that environment over in Texas with Derek James. And obviously when he's in the UK, he has Ben Davison. Ben Davison, he's obviously got Lee Wood, obviously, Lee McGregor. He's got a few, prospects at, lower level that are up and coming. But who else does he have? I'm just trying to think other than those guys. I think, at one stage he had Josh Taylor. He obviously had Billy Joe Saunders, I think. Isn't that ironic? Like, Billy Joe Saunders is with Ben Davison now. And that he could be imagine this, right? Imagine how strange this sounds if you said this 3 years ago. That Ben Davison, the former trainer at Tyson Fury, could be training Anthony Joshua in the UK. Obviously not head trainer, but just, tipping over with Anthony Joshua in the UK at his gym, which also has Billy Joe Saunders in it. So Billy Joe and Anthony Joshua in the same gym. If you had said that 3-4 years ago, you'd have been laughed at. You'd been like, that will never happen. I wonder, because Tyson Fury has never spoke ill, to my knowledge, of Ben Davison. He's always spoken very highly of him. It was John Fury, really, who was the one. And John Fury has spoke ill of people in Team Fury. I mean, at the end of the day, he spoke obviously ill about Ben Davison, said that under Ben Davison, Tyson couldn't even beat Povetkin. Wouldn't have gone that far. Ben Davison's not that bad. But he didn't hold Ben Davison in too high regard. Do you remember when Sugar Hill let slip that he was over there to train Lawrence Okolie for David Light, not Tyson Fury for Usyk? Do you remember what John Fury was saying? He better watch what he says and he's going to have to see me next. Well, he's still in Team Fury. I wonder, did they ever have that meeting? I doubt it very much. Let me know your thoughts. Joshua ticking over with Ben Davison. It's rumoured he's going to be fighting before the end of the year, December the 23rd. If so, against who? Will we see an improved Joshua? Will we see more improvements in terms of a technical point of view? Spending more time with Davison and Sugar Hill and Derek James. Do you think that's a good thing? Or do you think it's a bad thing? The old too many cooks spoil the broth. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed it, people. Smash the like button if you could. Subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. For now, I'll talk to you. Peace.